to the rest of humanity is to make something wonderful.
On him with joy instead of sadness.
That's boring.
Inside me.
Woman, it's Sonny, new iPhone.
Bring it!
Bring it, Tim.
One more thing!
One more thing.
One more thing!
Take my money.
So guys, after the first hype is over, let's jump into the truth about the iPhone X. Now, why did Apple release free phones? So to answer that, let's have a look at the line of innovation. The first iPhone was all about revolutionizing the phone, and I really enjoyed how Steve Jobs was talking about total simple things like holding a call or copying a number, and it was a giant step from the clunky phones back then to a new era of technology. Since then, there's always a new iPhone around the corner, and Apple begins planning new iPhone designs years ahead, but the company is known to change its mind on various decisions as it's near release. Now, after so many companies bringing out sick designs like the Essential phone, the Note 8 or the Xiaomi Mi Mix 2, they had to go one step ahead with the new iPhone X, otherwise they would have gotten some really bad PR. The last iPhone models were not really innovative. Now, I wouldn't call the new iPhone X innovative, but still it's more than I've expected. So why do they use OLED and why now? As all of you might know, Apple does not produce the panel itself. There is the one and only manufacturer that can deliver so many OLED displays, which is Samsung. In fact, Samsung has been using OLED screens since its first Galaxy phone that came out 7 years ago. And Apple has placed orders for 70 million OLED panels, which is an incredible number. There are estimates that Apple is paying between $120 and $130 per unit, which is a significant hike up from the approximate $45 to $45 cost of each 5.5-inch LCD for the iPhone 7 Plus. So the question remains, why OLED? Now, OLED is short for Organic Light Emitting Diode, and it's a type of display technology which differs from the more widely used LCD, which is liquid crystal display, by creating light within every pixel that makes up its picture, instead of requiring a separate backlighting system. That allows you to make the phone thinner and also allowing more fancy shapes, and it's also more power efficient and it can produce perfectly dark blacks, and the contrast difference to LCD is enough to make OLED superior. Yes, it's true that old OLED panels were not that bright, but nowadays there is no excuse anymore. New panels are definitely bright enough to be used in a phone, but still way more expensive. The new design looks really cool, but I'm not sure how stable it will be when you drop it, and also just think about how expensive repairs will be if they're even possible. But why is there no fingerprint/Touch ID anymore? Well, until now, fingerprint was the easiest biometric unlocking method and also the cheapest one. There are fingerprint scanners in $50 China phones that actually work quite well and are secure. Same goes for iris or face scanning. I had a couple of Chinese smartphones that already had got a good face recognition with an IR filter and so on. But still, I would have never used that for payment options. And now I think we are finally there. The new chips like the Bionic A11 or the new AI chip from Huawei, the Kirin 970, make it possible. Those chips combined with the great scanning hardware finally allow you to have a precision and speed that has never been there before, which means that it is safe and almost impossible to trick and also works in low light and very bright scenes. They also finally ditched the mechanical button, which I don't miss on all my Android phones for years, and still it would be kinda convenient to have a fingerprint on the backside. But to be honest, I need to try it out, but I really think that the technology is here to stay. The so-called animojis are fun, but maybe only once or twice and then I would never use them again, so for me they could actually just skip all that. Finally, Apple has implemented wireless charging. Now, QI started almost 9 years ago, and finally, after all the big companies implementing chargers like IKEA, they couldn't resist the pressure. The backside is now made of glass, which is bad when you drop it, but allows wireless charging. Qualcomm once said it has solved the problem of enabling wireless charging on devices with metal bodies, which until now were not able to support the technology. So the glass backside doesn't only look cool, but also finally makes wireless charging possible without any stupid looking case or pads. However, it's not the fastest wireless charging you can get. The QI 1.2.2 standard allows charging with up to 15 watts, but the iPhone caps out at 7.5 watts, as it looks right now, which is a downside for me in such an expensive phone. But there is something they didn't mention on stage, and the phone will support fast charging, up to 50% in 30 minutes, but wait for it, not with the charger delivered. So Apple, are you serious? Such a expensive phone and you sell the fast charger extra? No way. The camera on the new iPhone actually surprised me. 4K 60 FPS. That's what no other phone can do right now. And I can't tell right now if it's super compressed to make it possible or if the phone will heat up a lot, but time will tell. Not even the new Sony with the Motion Eye technology sensor can do it right now, and they even have 3D scan features, 960 FPS slow motion, but no 4K 60. And here I really have to say, good job Apple, for now. Finishing up with the price. So this is the most expensive iPhone ever. 1,150 euros for the 64GB version. My country is just, what the f***. I can understand that it is more expensive than the iPhone 7 because of the OLED panels, but still Apple has an incredible margin on the phones. We have visited a few manufacturers in China and the working conditions are sick. To be honest, I probably wouldn't be able to do that boring work all day long and just get paid like $1 to $3 per hour. But that is what Foxconn is doing, and Foxconn has 1.3 million employees and 12 huge factory plants only in China, producing for various brands around the world and also making the iPhone. According to the IHS Markit, the iPhone 6s costs around $188 to manufacture, and the 32GB iPhone 7 costs around $220. The manufacturing costs of the new iPhone X are expected at around $387. Now, if Apple would have made like $550 on every iPhone 7 it sold, with only the production costs and no other expenses taken in consideration like marketing and all that, a price of $1,000 for the X will bring around $620. Increasing prices is the only way to post a significant growth in a relatively slow growing market, where your market share is stagnating. And other companies like Huawei, Xiaomi and BBK electronic brands like Oppo and Vivo are aggressively pushing out cheaper phones and increase their market share. So if you want it, you have to pay a lot of money for an okay smartphone, and you really have to decide for yourself. So here comes our final conclusion.
So we're now at the end of this video and going to have our final conclusion. Steven, what do you think about the iPhone 8, the iPhone 8 Plus and the iPhone X?
So I'm not quite sure what I should think about the iPhone 8 series because there's absolutely no innovation. It just looks like the iPhone 7, which Flo had. There is nothing new. There is just a new chipset. I mean, the camera technology is pretty cool. You now have 4K 60 FPS. There is no other smartphone on the market right now that can do it. I'm not really sure. They didn't talk about how long you can record and all those things, but we'll check it out in our full review. But I'm very excited about that because I shoot a lot of videos on the go, and just imagine you have a gimbal, you have your iPhone with 4K 60 FPS and you have an external microphone, and you just don't need big DSLRs anymore. So that's very convenient. But the rest, it's just, well, a very entry-level basic iPhone, which you should probably buy if you can't afford the iPhone X or if you don't like the design.
iPhone 10, Steven.
iPhone 10?
Yeah, it's called iPhone 10.
Okay, iPhone 10.
What do you think about the iPhone 10?
Okay, I think it looks pretty cool. I'm actually very excited that Apple now uses OLED displays. I mean, everybody else is using it, even LG now with the V30, so that gives you more flexibility over the whole design. You can make that fancy design, make it look cool, make it not look like an iPhone anymore. And yeah, they just call it innovation. I think the chipset, yeah, it's basically the same. I think it's pretty cool. Same for the camera technology. Regarding Touch ID, I really like fingerprint scanners. Not really sure how well that face recognition will work. But anyway, if it will work good, then it's fine, but I probably have to get used to it, and I'm not really sure how it will work with payment and all that, but well, I'm very excited about the iPhone 10 as well.
Yeah. So yeah, my final conclusion about these phones is I was using the iPhone 7 Plus for the last couple of months or so. I enjoyed the form factor. I was always using Android. This was my first time using an Apple product.
And you broke it.
And I broke it, yeah, dropped it, yeah.
So that's another thing with the iPhone X, because of that fancy new design, I'm not really sure how stable it will be. So if you drop it, probably will break like the Note 8 and will be very expensive to repair.
Yeah, it's very expensive. All of their devices are very expensive all the time, and of course you will need a nice case. You have to be very careful to not break it, not to drop it anywhere. The iPhone 8, I like the form factor. They didn't change anything. They just keep on producing, putting in new chipsets, new camera sensors, and upgrading the software a bit. That's it. For me, no real innovation on this point. Just keeping up the product line. Stephen already mentioned the nice 4K 60 FPS feature, which is nice indeed. With the iPhone 10, not the iPhone X, the iPhone 10, I like the form factor. I have to get used to it that the phone is smaller, big hands, and I like big phones, and I always have big stuff in my hands, and so yeah, I just like that the iPhone 10 is kind of putting the edge of the screen to the edges, which might be nice. The screen, the Face ID, what they call it, I'm not sure about that. I prefer also like a fingerprint sensor somewhere on the phone. Maybe on the back, put it into the Apple logo at the back. Wireless charging though is awesome in my opinion. Just put it next to your nightstand and you have it charged. Not sure about the speed though, because power charging got quite useful, I have to say. Just plug it in for 15 minutes or so somewhere and...
Yeah, actually they didn't mention, they said that QI standard, but they didn't mention if it's the new one, which can put out up to 15 watts. Not quite sure about all that. It's like big confusion right now, but we'll probably see all that in the final results, first reviews very soon.
Yeah. So far from us, we are excited to put our hands on these devices as soon as possible for you guys. We'll get in contact with our carriers and try to get a review sample very soon. Yeah, so far stay tuned for more videos on our channels here on TechMagnet or on Steven's Live or on my channel as well. Thanks for watching guys, see you soon in the next one.
Have a nice day, bye.